the story behind the entire Nonprofit Leadership Initiative is all about people who care about the community coming together, bringing their best ideas and resources together to make this something special. So the partnerships cross over between nonprofit organizations working as part of the initiative, our community partners in the corporate sector, really at all levels. It's people who care, it's organizations who care, and it's coming together to frame a community solution to something we all care about, and that's the effectiveness of our nonprofit organizations.
Well, one of the things we've talked about over the past couple of years in the community with nonprofits is, again, strengthening all of the nonprofits, executive directors as well as boards, all of the driving factors in senior leadership that help the nonprofits. So we were looking at best practice models around the country. What works well in other communities might not work well here, but we wanted to bring to the Valley what this community would need and be able to support as far as education for the nonprofits. So one of the portals of the projects that we're working on is the Nonprofit Leadership Institute here in the Fox Valley. We've partnered with Fox Valley Technical College to help us create that model.
My role really has been twofold. First of all, I got involved in the initial steering committee to help build this institute. And the expertise that the college brought was in terms of curriculum, evaluations, expectations within a course. How do we develop these so that they are usable and relevant to executive directors? The steering committee for the institute also talked about things like, should it be accredited? Will it be a certificate kind of course? Should we charge? And then again, that's where we were able to bring the college's experience with those things into the institute.
We're really excited. We had envisioned both the content and the manner of delivery. And I think as things are playing out, both are working pretty well. Of course, we're not through all the modules yet, but the feedback that we're getting about the instructors selected, the content being provided to the participants seems to be what they are looking for.
Well, the pilot program involves 12 participants who we've selected to help us survey and create the best model that we can out of the program. The successes have been huge. Not only have the participants worked on improving their executive leadership teams as well as bringing things to use in their boards. Board chair people have called us and said, we love what you're doing. We've already implemented things that are going to really move this nonprofit forward and help the entire community.
Fox Cities is really extraordinary in that respect, both from the funder side and the company side in terms of getting involved, from the for-profit industry down to the agencies themselves. There is a real sense of community and never a hesitation to collaborate. And so not just with this, but in so many of the things that we're involved in community, you just see that coming together and the helping. And together, you know, we're stronger than we are apart.
I read and I researched and I said, of course we want to be part of this. It's terrific that the Community Foundation and the United Way and other sponsors are making these resources available. Prior to this, I had been going to the Nonprofit Leadership Executive Director Forums, and I didn't realize that the Institute was an extension of this bigger program. So I was able to learn more about the goal that the Community Foundation was putting forth at the area, and I was honored to be part of it.
I came into the Appleton Boy Choir organization really green, and I had not had any experience with nonprofits before. I'd worked in business for Kimberly-Clark and Mead Corporation. So this institute has really given me a really broad perspective of everything that could and should be happening in a nonprofit.
It's been great. I mean, there's the one element of, with each session, I'm learning a lot, and I think we all are learning a lot about whatever the specific focus of that session is. So whether that's development, finance, developing your board, but the thing that I didn't think as much about as I went in, but really feel like I benefited a lot from, is just getting to know and to talk to the other people in the class. So I feel like we've really developed a camaraderie and we're able to share with each other and be open with each other about challenges and successes. And I feel like that's actually helped me even as much as being in the class itself and learning the subject matter.
I go from time to time to the after-hours events for the Chamber of Commerce, but it's a different group of people than it is nonprofit execs. Nonprofit execs are all, they're mission-driven in particular. So it's nice to network with like-minded people who have had similar struggles and who have been around maybe as much as you have. This is my third season with New Voices, and a lot of the people in the Institute have been around for 6 months, 1 year, to a year, and several have been beyond. So I get examples of where I was, where I am, and where I can be going.
You know, the format is really great. It's a 2-day format, 2 half-days, and I like that a lot. I can free up my afternoon to either work on things that we learned in the morning of the first day, or do a few things task-oriented at work, and then go back at the material on the following morning.
I'm really encouraged by the early successes that we're having out of this entire nonprofit leadership initiative, and the Institute being one paramount example of that. The energy and the participation and the genuine interest and commitment to this has been really encouraging to me. And as I look across the Fox Valley region and I see so many people involved, so much commitment, so much energy, and a growing support base, I think that really bodes well for probably something that we will look back in 10 years from now and say, this is one of the most significant things we've ever done here in this region. To really put an investment forward to sustain and enhance the effectiveness of the quality of life organizations. This is really a gift that pays it forward.
I can tell you that every module I'm able to sit in and observe what's happening. I have a little bit of a nonprofit background. That's partly how I got involved with this. Dr. May and Dr. Matheny invited me to be part of this. So as I'm listening to these instructors, if you will, the module leaders, their content is solid, it is relevant, it is current. These are people who are out there every day training others and doing the things that they're training. So one of the participants had mentioned to us that they had considered an MBA program at one of our local state colleges and said, now that I've gone through this material, I'm reconsidering that decision whether I really need to do that or not.
What I've learned has been invaluable. I'm also an MBA grad student finishing up at University of Oshkosh, and the quality of the courses that are being taught in the Nonprofit Leadership Initiative are very similar to my grad school courses. And the fact that it's being offered at such an affordable rate is truly a benefit to the nonprofit center area.
We have such a strong and growing resource base of community partners that are supporting the Institute. And I believe that the stories and the great examples that come out of this cohort of executive directors is going to only give us a lot more momentum and energy to say this is something we need to invest in. And frankly, we probably have even larger classes and more classes to put through the Institute program, because I believe it's going to be one of the greatest training tools we have in the Valley.
I see the whole nonprofit initiative, in addition to just the Institute for Executive Directors, as being a fantastic investment in the community, because the more that we can strengthen our local nonprofits who are there on the ground solving problems for the community, and we know that more and more our nonprofit organizations are being asked to carry more and more of the load in terms of helping to create the kind of community and the kind of quality of life that we want, and the more that we can do to act on their desire to learn and grow and strengthen their own organizations, I just see that as a terrific investment with a huge community social ROI.
It's really important because we make investments in the community, and the Institute helps to strengthen those investments by putting lots of training and lots of knowledge into the people who are actually using our dollars in the community. It's a great way for us to make sure that our investments are being used in a great way, because when you invest in the knowledge of the people who are leading those organizations, then you can also move it forward by giving them extra training. Really love to have other companies join us with funding this. This is a great way, again, to support your community broadly and to invest in the future of our nonprofits.
Any donor or organization that supports and cares about quality of life in our community knows that that requires a strong nonprofit sector. We all want high capacity, highly effective organizations and really capable leaders to serve these nonprofits. And that's the only way that our quality of life in the community is going to be sustained in the future. This program is one excellent opportunity to make that kind of investment and really invest in the future of our capacity, because we all believe that we have a wonderful community to live in, and the only way to make sure that it's still a great community for the next generation is to make these kinds of investments today. And we really are investing in the future of what will be an even better Fox Valley region.